Most people think the Claude Code is terminal only. It's not. There are web, desktop, IDE, and CLI. 4 interfaces, but the same tool. Most consultancies test the wrong one first, and then they give up. I'm V from Agentic Lab. I help professional services firms design AI workflows that scale. Today, these 4 interfaces, what they actually do, how they compare across 12 different factors, and how to select the right one for your workflow. Let's get on with it. You've built a project for every client engagement. You have a discovery documentation, proposal generation, status reports, and they all isolated. You copy context from between them manually. Now, Claude Code fixes this through shared context and automatic handoff between various agents. But there are 4 different ways to access it. Before we dive into each one, here's the landscape. On the right, you will see a table. I'm going to populate this throughout the video. We will talk about these topics. We will start with the setup time, the learning curve. We will cover the feature completeness between different interfaces and how non-developer friendly they are. We will cover about which one has a local file access, parallel execution, and the visual differences for what is being submitted. And of course, the automation, such as MCP integration, automation with various agents, mobile access, update speed from Claude itself, and stability of the tools. Now let's get specific about each one and do a deep dive. The web version launched October 2025. It was browser-based and has a 0 setup time. You go to claude.ai/code, connect your GitHub account, and you start working. Now it has a low learning curve. It has about 60% completeness of features, non-developer friendly, and you can access it on the client side unless they block the URL, and no local file access and the cloud execution only. It runs an Anthropic Cloud sandbox. Parallel execution works properly there. You can run multiple repositories simultaneously and basic visual diffs. No MCP integration, which means you can't call on your other apps, and no automation support. Mobile access works through the iOS and the Android app. It has a fast update speed and high stability. GitHub connection is mandatory and it has about 500 megabyte repository size limit. This is great for accessibility. Often works on a client device and excellent for quick testing. So imagine you're on a client lockdown laptop. No installation allowed, no admin access. Web interface often works immediately. Imagine you testing 3 bug fixes across 3 different repositories. Now, parallel execution is a godsend. You could launch those in parallel, and there are no environments to worry about. Now, when can you use this? Access anywhere on any device without installation, such as on a client device or even on your mobile phone. This shouldn't be your primary interface. This is for specific accessibility constraints. I often use it on my phone when I have a thought or an idea on the go. Now, the desktop app launched in November 2025. It has about 5 minutes setup. You can install the Claude desktop and a code tab appears. Now, the GUI interface throughout, and that means it's a chat-based interactions. It has a low learning curve, has about 75% feature completeness compared to other interfaces, and it's non-developer friendly. And this one comes with local file access. It has a very limited parallel execution and basic visual diffs and MCP integration support, which means you can automate and you can access other tabs, but no automation support such as sub-agents. It has a high stability, medium update speed. This is for teams that don't touch terminal and need the local file access with MCP. You select a project folder and Claude starts working. Project switching is visual. You click tabs and not terminal commands. You will need to set up the environment variables through your GUI, and the model switching is through a drop-down. This is bash only shell, so if your team uses ZHH or fish, it won't work. Manual cleanup is often required, and the context compacting will be a problem in the long sessions. When should you use this? When team avoids terminal, stability matters most, and a frequent project switching. Windows users prefer a GUI, and you will need to create the local files. That's your ideal users for this one. This should be your entry point. You should start here and expand to other interfaces as needed. Next one is IDE. For those that new here, IDE stands for Integrated Development Environment, such as VS Code. Claude has native extensions for VS Code, Cursor, JetBrains, and others. It has about 15 minutes setup. You install the extensions, install your CLI, configure path. It has a medium learning curve, so it's about 85% feature completeness. It's not non-developer friendly. It also has access to local files and a limited parallel execution, and it has a native visual diffs in IDE. MCP integration supported with somewhat limited automation, but fast updates and medium stability. It has a file selection awareness, which is great, which means Claude knows which file you have open. It shares relevant context automatically. Now, with a visual diff review, Claude suggests changes. You see them in line, accept, reject, and modify before applying, which is different to all the other interfaces. It has a conversation history, so multiple conversation tabs, which gives you that little bit of extra lever to control. Now the trade-offs. It requires both extensions and a CLI. Two components to manage, and the version compatibility often matters. If extensions versions don't match CLI versions, things often break. You will see performance overhead on a large code bases, and an editor integration often adds additional processing load. So when should you use this? Use it when you're already in VS Code or JetBrains, when visual diff review is non-negotiable and automatic error sharing needed. So that's an editor-first workflow. This isn't for everyone. This is mainly for developers who refuse to leave their editor and already comfortable with IDEs. Okay, next one is CLI or command line interface. The 10-minute setup has a native installer and no Node.js required. It has a highest learning curve, but it offers a 100% feature completeness, and it's definitely not non-developer friendly. It has a full local file access, but it has a limited parallel execution. It has no visual diffs by default. You will need to configure external tools for that. Full automation and scripting, as well as MCP integration. It offers fastest updates and medium stability. This runs directly in your terminal, so it has a full system integration and a complete feature set. You install it, you run Claude Code in any directory, and then Claude starts working. If you're comfortable with the CLI, then all the typical tricks will work. So shell piping works, pipe outputs between the commands, chain operations, you can script entire workflows. It has a full 200K context window, and it's not truncated. Now, lots of additional features such as custom hooks, which means that you can configure and automate it to your heart's content. This is for automation and power users. You can script repetitive workflows such as client onboarding, assessment processing, proposal generation. A single command triggers a multi-step sequences. You can get multiple sub-agents work as full teams for you. So what's the trade-off for this powerful tool? It's a terminal intimidation for non-technical users, and there's no other way to say it. Now, context compacting still happens, permission prompts for file operations all the time, and the sessions are ephemeral. When should you use it? You should use it if you're terminal comfortable and automation is the goal. You should also consider it if you need the bleeding edge features and the complex workflows justify that learning curve. Don't have to pick one, you could use multiple. I use all of them depending on what task I'm working on. So there you are, 4 interfaces for the same system. Start with the desktop and expand based on your team needs and skills. Now check this video where I explain how to use the Claude skills. Subscribe below, as I will show in my next video how I built a whole data warehouse on a web called Claude. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.